Hello, good day. We are presenting our aircraft accident investigation simulation. This presentation analyzes the runway excursion of Cebu Pacific Flight 5J971 using ICAO Annex 13 protocols. Let's explore how this incident unfolded and what lessons we can learn.
Incident overview. Flight Cebu Pacific 5 Juliet 971 Manila to Davao. Date June 2, 2013, 7:07 p.m. Aircraft is Airbus A320-214. Occupants 165. All survive. Weather thunderstorm, heavy rain. Event overrun runway, nose gear collapse in grass. So Cebu Pacific Flight 5 Juliet 971 was on a routine domestic flight from Manila to Davao. On the evening of June 2, 2013, during its approach in adverse weather conditions, the aircraft touched down late on a wet runway. It failed to stop in time and veered off, leading to a nose gear collapse as it came to rest in a grassy area. Fortunately, all 165 occupants survived. So, our chain of events, visual flow. So, first is approach in heavy rain. Second, touchdown far along runway. Third, aircraft hydroplanes. 4, runway excursion. 5, nose gear collapse. And lastly is delayed evacuation. The approach was unstabilized and the aircraft landed beyond the typical touchdown zone. With a wet and slippery runway, hydroplaning occurred, reducing braking effectiveness. The aircraft overran the runway, damaging the nose gear. Alarmingly, evacuation was delayed by nearly 15 to 20 minutes as passengers remained on board without clear instructions.
Unstable approach in bad weather. Investigation findings. Pilot decision making continued unstable approach despite adverse weather, runway conditions, wet and slippery and no adequate braking action. Landing configuration. Touchdown was long and hard. CRM issue, poor communication between captain and first officer. Delayed evacuation, cabin crew waited for cockpit command. The investigation revealed several key findings. The flight crew continued an unstable approach in thunderstorm conditions without initiating a go around. The aircraft landed long well beyond the optimal zone and was unable to stop. CVR data revealed that the first officer had suggested a go around, but the captain chose to proceed, compounding the error. Evacuation was significantly delayed with no immediate command from the cockpit. Supporting evidence, CVR showed misapproach was suggested by first officer. FDR recorded over 4,200 feet before touchdown. Photographed. Nose gear embedded in grass. ATC logs confirm rain and poor visibility at the time. Flight data recorder information confirmed the aircraft touchdown more than halfway down the 3,000-meter runway. The wet condition made braking difficult. Contributing the excursion, the cockpit voice recorder confirmed the first officer warning, which was ultimately disregarded. Photographic evidence and technical inspection supported the findings of nose gear damage.
human factor analysis, shell model table or breakdown, shell component software, SOPF not followed, hardware not no auto brake used, environment, rain, poor visibility, liveware, miscommunication, liveware also, first officer not assertive. Let's analyze the human factors using the shell model. The crew did not adhere to standard operating procedures, particularly those concerning go-around criteria. Auto brakes weren't utilized despite challenging conditions. The weather played a large environmental role, but the heart of the issue lies in the communication failures between the captain and the first officer. The first officer was not assertive enough, and the captain did not solicit or consider feedback during the approach. Key human factor errors. Despite decision error, captain continued unstable approach, communication error, first officer failed to assert authority, routine violation, uh, SOPS not followed, go around required. The captain's decision to continue with unstable approach was a clear judgment error. This was further compounded by routine violation of SOPS, especially the policy on executing a go around under unstable approach conditions. Crew resource management broke down with poor communication and lack of assertiveness from the first officer, despite identifying the unsafe situations.
So, safety improvements and recommendations. Mandatory go-around decision training. So, several safety recommendations emerged from this case. Pilots must receive reinforced simulator training for go-around decisions, particularly under high-stress weather scenarios. Second, enhance CRM simulation every 6 months. So CRM training should emphasize assertiveness and situational authority for all flight crew members. Improve weather monitoring tools. Real-time weather tools and braking condition sensors should be standard, and cabin crew must be empowered to initiate evacuation when necessary. Next slide. So, slide 9. ICAO CAAP notes. Align SOPs with ICAO Annex 13 and PCAR Part 13. Safety management system updates. From a regulatory standpoint, SOPs need tighter alignment with ICAO Annex 13 and CAAP's PCAR Part 13. Enhancing internal safety management system can enable airlines to monitor and evaluate pilot decisions effectively, reinforcing a safety-first mindset.
Visual poster. On visual safety poster, never delay a go around. Lives depend on it. An A320 in a rain on a wet runway. Next slide. Go around is a safety tool. Use it. This poster emphasizes one message. Go-arounds are not failures, they are life-saving decisions. It is designed to visually remind flight crew of the cost of indecision in high-stress environment.
I learned that aviation safety often hinges on timely informed decision making, and leaders must be ready to step back and let the standard procedures guide action, especially in a stable situation like this approach.
Uh, I recognize how situational awareness can be compromised when pilots feel pressured by time, passenger, or schedules. The key is to prioritize safety over timeliness.
Every runway has a limit. Pilot judgment must know them. I reflected on how pilots must fully understand the limitation of the runway environment. A long landing in wet condition isn't just dangerous. It can be dis- disastrous if miscalculated.
Assertive CRM saves lives. First officers must speak up. I focused on crew resource management. My takeaway: first officers should never hesitate to voice out safety concerns, and captain must listen. Assertive, respectful communication can prevent strategies.
I emphasize that executing go around should never be seen as failure. It is a core element of professional pilot conduct. Knowing when to go around is a mark of discipline, not weakness.
Cabin crew should act faster when life is at risk. Highlighted that cabin crew critical role waiting too long to evacuate, especially without instruction, can endanger lives. Cabin crew must be empowered and trained to act swiftly in uncertain moments.
Prevention tips: enforce go around policies, stimulate weather scenarios regularly, improve ATC pilot weather communications, empower cabin crew with training. To prevent similar incidents, we recommend stronger enforcement of go around SOPs, frequent simulation trainings for poor weather scenarios, improve weather communication between ATC and flight crew, and proactive roles for cabin crew in emergencies. Uh, Here are our references: ICAO Annex 13, CAP PICAR Part 13, Cebu Pacific 5J971 Final Report, Aviation Safety Network, and Shell Model by ICAO.